LOS-E. Demonstrate an understanding of how to create an effective feedback system. An effective feedback system is designed to monitor strategic execution and provide timely, relevant information about performance relative to objectives. It includes clearly defined critical success factors, CSFs, and key performance indicators, KPIs, aligned with strategic goals. Financial measures such as ROI or operating cash flow are complemented by non-financial indicators such as customer satisfaction, quality metrics, innovation rates, and employee engagement. By linking measures directly to strategy, organizations ensure that monitoring activities reinforce long-term objectives rather than encourage short-term or suboptimal behavior. Effective feedback systems rely on structured evaluation and control processes, including regular performance reviews, variance analysis, and management by exception. Balanced scorecards and strategy maps help visualize cause and effect relationships among strategic initiatives. Timely reporting enables leaders to detect deviations early and initiate corrective actions. Importantly, feedback loops must be both upward and downward, communicating results across organizational levels, so that employees understand performance expectations and how their actions influence broader strategic outcomes. A strong feedback system also supports organizational learning and strategic adaptability. Rather than serving solely as a control mechanism, feedback should encourage analysis of assumptions, environmental shifts, and competitive responses. Continuous monitoring allows management to refine forecasts, adjust resource allocations, and revise strategies when necessary. By integrating feedback into the ongoing strategic management cycle, organizations create a dynamic system that balances stability with responsiveness, ensuring sustained alignment between mission, strategy, implementation, and evolving market conditions. LOS-F. Discuss the similarities and differences in the strategic planning process for-profit companies versus non-profit organizations. Both for-profit and non-profit organizations follow a structured strategic management process, beginning with mission and vision, conducting environmental and internal analysis, setting long-term objectives, formulating strategy, implementing plans, and evaluating performance. Both must assess competitive forces, allocate limited resources, manage risks, and align structure with strategy. Tools such as SWOT analysis, balanced scorecards, and scenario planning apply to both sectors. Additionally, both require leadership commitment, stakeholder communication, and performance measurement systems to ensure that strategic initiatives are effectively executed and aligned with organizational purpose. The primary difference lies in organizational objectives and performance measurement. For-profit companies focus on maximizing shareholder value, profitability, growth, and competitive advantage. Financial metrics such as ROI, earnings per share, and cash flow are central performance indicators. Non-profit organizations, however, prioritize mission fulfillment, service delivery, and social impact rather than profit generation. Although financial sustainability is essential, success is more heavily measured through program effectiveness, stakeholder satisfaction, donor engagement, and achievement of social or community-oriented outcomes. Differences also arise in funding sources, stakeholder expectations, and governance structures. For-profit firms generate revenue primarily through sales and market transactions, while non-profits depend on donations, grants, membership fees, and public funding. This influences strategic planning, as non-profits must address donor priorities, regulatory constraints, and accountability to boards and beneficiaries. Agency relationships may differ, with boards in non-profits playing a particularly active oversight role. Despite these differences, both sectors require disciplined strategic alignment, risk management, and continuous performance evaluation to ensure long-term sustainability. LOS-G. Discuss the similarities and differences in the strategic planning process for large, medium, and small companies. Organizations of all sizes follow the same fundamental strategic management framework, defining mission and vision, conducting environmental and internal analyses, setting objectives, formulating and implementing strategy, and evaluating performance. Regardless of size, companies must assess competitive forces, allocate resources efficiently, and align structure with strategic priorities. All firms benefit from clear objectives, leadership commitment, and feedback systems. However, the degree of formalization, documentation, and analytical sophistication often varies depending on organizational size and available resources. Large companies typically employ formalized, data-driven strategic planning processes involving multiple functional units, detailed forecasting models, enterprise risk management systems, and structured governance oversight. They often operate across multiple business units, geographic regions, and product lines, requiring complex coordination and divisional or matrix structures. In contrast, small companies may rely on more informal, entrepreneurial decision-making processes, with strategy driven by founders or senior leaders. Their flexibility allows quicker adaptation, but they may lack extensive analytical resources or specialized planning departments. Medium-sized firms often fall between these extremes, balancing growing complexity with limited resources. As organizations scale, they must transition from informal planning to more structured processes, formal budgeting systems, and clearer accountability mechanisms. The challenge for growing firms is maintaining agility while introducing controls and alignment mechanisms. Ultimately, while the core strategic principles remain consistent across sizes, differences arise in process formalization, governance complexity, resource availability, and the scope of competitive engagement. Los H. Discuss why the strategic management process is an ongoing process. The strategic management process is ongoing because organizations operate in dynamic environments characterized by technological change, competitive rivalry, regulatory shifts, and evolving customer preferences. External conditions rarely remain stable, and strategic assumptions may become obsolete over time. Continuous environmental scanning and industry analysis are necessary to identify emerging opportunities and threats. Without regular reassessment, an organization risks strategic misalignment, declining competitiveness, or industry dissonance, particularly in rapidly changing sectors. Strategy implementation generates new information through performance measurement and feedback systems, which must inform future decisions. Financial results, operational metrics, and customer data reveal whether objectives are being achieved. Deviations from targets require corrective action, resource reallocation, or possible strategic adjustment. The integration of evaluation, control systems, and feedback loops ensures that strategy remains aligned with mission and market realities. This iterative cycle transforms strategic management from a one-time event into a continuous learning process. Additionally, long-term sustainability requires balancing strategic stability with adaptability. While organizations must maintain consistency in value proposition and core competencies, they must also develop dynamic capabilities to exploit new opportunities and mitigate risks. Enterprise risk management, scenario planning, and rolling forecasts support ongoing refinement. Because competitive advantage can erode through imitation or disruption, strategic management must be continuously monitored, evaluated, and adjusted to sustain superior performance and fulfill the organization's mission over time.